Hey everyone, so in the recent information that the Headman brothers have given us about Samukai, and we'll end up seeing Samukai in a certain way. We don't exactly know what kind of way he'll actually be back yet. But, recently I've been thinking, I'm thinking that this scene here that they are showing us is actually possibly real, not like like a digital sort of thing, that I was bringing up, Ninja are just training. They're just using like technology like Center Sport, or, I don't know, something like training, not really actually the skeletons there. But then we see a thing saying the golden weapons, Jay's golden weapons, his nunchucks of lightning. Well, you'd say the golden weapons are gone, but in the Skybound poster we do have Jay holding the nunchucks of lightning. That brings me to think that it's actually real. Because in the poster, Jay is using the nunchucks of lightning. So, is this scene actually real? And if this scene is real, who's going to be bringing back these skeletons? Now, here's the next part. Now, you may think Natakan. Well, is Natakan really out in this scene? Now you see, you can see the ninja are there kind of by the lamp. But it doesn't seem like, we don't hear one thing at all about Natakan. Or a genie or a freaky ghost guy or anything like that. All we hear about is a lamp and skeletons. So, who brought the skeletons back if the skeletons are... Well, the skeletons can still be around. They're still around. But, Samukai. It's more just Samukai. Who brought Samukai back? Because now this is just a theory if Natakan really, if Natakan's not in the lamp yet. I have brought Klaus up. This is my thought, Klaus. I have brought Klaus up because, he's got tons of magic. He uses his magic for lots of different stuff. Open portals to, the cursed realm, all that different stuff. He could do lots of weird stuff with his magic. And, could Klaus possibly resurrect Samukai? Because a few months ago now, the Hammond brothers were kind of hinting around that Klaus could actually be alive. Because the Realm of Shadows live show, they said it was, it kind of connected with the show. Not really. Of course, it won't really officially connect to it, but it'll have. It kind of refers to the show, or what will happen in the show. And Klaus is the main enemy, the main villain in that live show. So that led us to thinking that Klaus is to survive somehow from the preeminent. And they did say, well, Klaus is breaking out or digging his way out, or breaking his way out of the preeminent, right? We saw him kind of slicing or trying to cut through the his imprisonment little cage thing using. He's trying to cut through that, and did Klaus actually get out? Because could have Klaus brought Samukai back? If Natakan's not out yet, who would have brought Samukai back? If Samukai is actually really there and back, if it really is him, if it's not him, then this changes everything. This is a video about if Samukai really is there, if it actually really is him. Is it Klaus? Could it be Klaus, or could it just be someone else with some sort of crazy weird powers? And if what if it's Natakan? Maybe Natakan is out, and possibly we don't know, because they, there's, it's only one scene that we see here. So we still don't really know about this. All we see and hear is the ninja, they're kind of fighting around, and it seems like they might be at the Temple of Light. They're fighting skeletons. They're in the new outfits that we have been seeing. Jay's got his nunchucks of lightning. And Samukai is there, and we hear Ghost Cole, we hear Titanium Zane. So of course it's some sort of scene that we will see. I don't know if it'll be real again or not. I'm kind of leaning more towards it being real now. But is Samukai actually really there? Um, and who would bring him back then? Who would actually resurrect Samukai? I feel like if it's not Otacon that would do that, I feel like Klaus would have the ability to do that. Now, I'm not saying it is Klaus if it, all happens like that. This is just a theory. It could be someone totally different too, some other total different character. But I'm just making a theory of Klaus. Um, because he could do lots of things with his magic. So, what do you guys think? Who do you think is going to bring Samukai back? If it actually is Samukai. Not, if it isn't really him, if it's like some sort of, dummy, they got lots of technology now. Maybe it's like a machine, who knows that they're fighting, training with. But if it really is him, who would have brought him back? My theory is Klaus, but, who else would do it, what do you guys think? I mean, who else would do it? Otacon, if he really is out or not. Oh, I'm thinking Klaus, but is Klaus even going to come back? That's the other question. So, lots of big questions here for next season. But what do you guys think will happen?